Hello there, and welcome to another video. This time we're going to be playing Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. And overall for this channel, while I've started with making a video for Guild Wars 2, which I'd highly recommend checking out if you are interested in Guild Wars 2, this channel overall is for playing any type of game, primarily RPGs, but um, games that I'm passionate about playing. I think anyone who wants to do this or is interested in at least showing off content from games should play stuff that they're passionate about, not necessarily just because it is the it game. So in this case, Monster Hunter is a franchise that I started playing back in 3 Ultimate. Now, I'll say right off the bat, for this playthrough, I'm not starting fresh. I do have a character that I've already gone through Rise, I've already gone through Sunbreak, and we're in the in-game slash post patches that they have been kicking out every couple months or so. So, for me at least, in Monster Hunter, as I've gone through each game, I've kind of changed up my weapons a bit. From Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, I played Hunting Horn, and then following that, I switched to the Insect Glaive for 4. Didn't play 4 as much, sadly, and then I skipped Generations, kind of. I don't quite remember it, but like a lot of people, Monster Hunter World is where I picked up with it. Played through World, Iceborne, as we have the lovely Valkana layered armor for our Palamute, which is basically a dog. And as you look over here, you can see Palamutes without layered armor, which, if you don't know, is essentially a transmog. Basically, you can put an armor set over the top of your canine companion without affecting the base skills that you want from their armor or weapons. But yeah, I love Monster Hunter just because it's a very straightforward game, right? The point of it is in the title, and it's easy to get into. There is difficulty spikes in some hunts, and what I will show you here is there are different levels of quests. If you don't know, there's low and high rank, which are your base game, and then master rank, which is an expansion that follows after. For Rise, it was Sunbreak. For World, it was Iceborne. But it essentially brings up a new difficulty level, new sets of monsters, and everything like that. Additionally, there's the urgent quests, which are basically your main quest scenario, what you have to do to progress the story, which is loosely there for most Monster Hunter games, just to get you to the next monster, the next big thing to fight. But you have urgent quests that help you unlock the next step, the next thing to fight. Now, where I'm at right now essentially is these are both updates that have followed the release of Sunbreak, at least on PC and Switch. And each of these monsters I can hunt, and it doesn't really affect any main story progression or anything like that. It's just another thing to hunt, and honestly, these are pretty good choices. I know some people were expecting a bit more maybe than Velkhana for the latest patch, but Chaotic Gormagala I think is an interesting one just because it's this creature where essentially it has a conflict of identities. It's meant to transform into Shigaru Magala, and forgive me if I butcher that, but you know, it's trapped between states. You can see this little yellow streak there. It's chaotic, it's confused, it doesn't know what's going on with it, but that makes it much more of an interesting fight, in my opinion. Now, I say all that, I actually have not fought it before. I fought Velkhana, so I kind of know what to expect. It's just the set of tools that you have in this game versus World is a bit different. So, for the purpose of just an intro though, I'm going to go in and we're going to play different quests. I'm going to drop down a couple levels, honestly. The thing that I mentioned earlier is that there are different monsters for each game, and not everyone makes it to the next game, so some of the favorites sometimes don't make it over don't entirely carry across to the next generation. At some point, I'll play Iceborne to show off one of my favorite monsters, Brachydios. Um, but for the purposes of this video, we're gonna fight one of the new monsters of Sunbreak, which is a variation of a monster that came into Rise, the Blood Orange Bishaten. Now, one of the cool things in one of the post Sunbreak updates was you could choose to bring followers along with you on hunts. So basically that's just an AI bot, a robot that hunts with you. So you don't have to matchmake online with people. You can just say, hey, I want to bring these couple people with me. For this quest, we're just going to take it alone. The other interesting thing that Monster Hunter has that a lot of people latch onto is the food that you get before a hunt. So basically the food will give you certain buffs, so each of these things you can use to help you. So increase health recovery from items. Hey, restores health to near allies upon fading. So hey, if you know you're gonna faint but you want to help everybody else out, might be a good one. The other thing is what you can do is you can set sets called your usual, right? So I've got 5 different sets for what I have here, and this set that I've got, I'll show it off. Dingo Weakener, so monsters are gonna be weaker going into the quest, or based on each of these different levels. So hey, it's more likely that it's gonna be weaker. Defender, I can take more damage. Prevent knockbacks, which I don't care about as much for this one, although I probably need it. And Marksman, which for my bow build, I want to increase the power of my shots and arrows. The other reason why people love cooking in these games is the cinematics. So in the end, my payoff was I got all the skills that I wanted. Now again, if I didn't have feet, it wouldn't be the end of the world, but that's what that is. Now, with Monster Hunter, there are different types of weapons that you can have, so here's the full list of them. As I mentioned, when I played in 3, I started with the hunting horn, which starts looking like this, and then as you progress through the game, you can get different ones that look a bit more ornate. It is a buff weapon, so essentially you use it to help allies and yourself become stronger, pull off different status effects that you might get, and afflict different things. So and I say afflict different things. Each of these have a different element type like other weapons, but that's what I've played before. And then into 4, I played Insect Glaive, which is a 2-part weapon. One, it's basically a pole vault where you can launch yourself into the air and do a bunch of aerial attacks and cool stuff. But the other part of it is called your Kinesect, which is a bug that you control that pulls off different extracts is what they're called. And based on those, you get certain buffs to deal damage. Again, that ability to get those extracts are also different parts on the monster that you hit with the insect, so it requires a bit of finesse. And with World, I went into the world of dual blades, so pretty straightforward weapon. This is what they look like for Rise based on the different monsters that you can fight. And into Rise as well, I played dual blades. The interesting thing about Monster Hunter is that, at least for World and Rise, is that they finally came to PC. But the release onto PC was delayed a bit, so it came out on Switch first. I jumped on it right away, and I played with dual blades. And then when World came out on PC, as well as Rise when it came out on PC, I decided I wanted to pick up a different weapon, and I decided to try bow. So that's what I'm working with here now. In terms of bows, you see the one that I've got up on my back, but you can see there's different types here. And for bows specifically, they have different levels of charge, so each shot deals a different type. So for example, based on this one that I have, there's, if I just charge it a bit, it's a spread shot, but if I charge it up a bit more, I can fire fast shots, and then if I charge it up all the way, it's a spread shot again. Again, each of these have different levels, different attack types, as well as different elements, and based on the monster you're fighting, you want to mix and match those elements, as well as your armor. So based on the monster you're fighting, you can see over on the right hand side, you want different types of resistance to whatever attacks they're dealing, as well as different effects that you can buff yourself with to help your build a bit better, right? And obviously, right, people enjoy the looks of the armors because, dear lord, does that look cool, sort of thing. And again, you fight these monsters and they get bigger and stronger, and the armor looks different, and you get cool skills that you can work off of. But like I mentioned with the Palamutes, the dogs, you can also make your own layered armor. So if I want to look like this without affecting my own armor skill choices, I can do it. And same for the weapons, is that I can do the same thing. So if I want to look like that with that cool thing, I can do it. Now we've eaten our food, we got that buff. I'm good with the weapon that we're fighting in the armor because this isn't too hard of a fight. So what I'm going to do is go to our item box and I'm going to stock up. Now for my bow specifically, again, there are things called coatings which I can use. So for this at least, I need a power coating which deals more damage, a poison coating which poisons monsters, para coating which can help paralyze them, as I love to say, and sleep coating and blast coating, which are pretty straightforward in what they do as well, but as you'll note, I can't equip those. The other thing that I need to get is tranq bombs and a trap. Basically, instead of taking the monster out altogether, I can capture the monster, which allows me to get specific types of parts, or a higher chance for specific types of parts. I've already stocked up on things for potions, so I'm good in that sense of everything. One thing I will show off that I like about this game as well is that there's a list of the monsters that you can look at. So like I was talking about before with element types and what you want to use, in this case for this monster you'd want to use thunder, lightning, right? And then additionally, as I was talking about, is based on capturing and not capturing, there are specific type of things you can get as well. So I can see that there's a chance for getting certain things that I might get from a capture versus a carve. So we'll use thick fur as an example, is that I have a 35% chance getting it as a capture versus carve 33% chance. So typically I'll go for a capture, plus it speeds up the hunt overall. So got my weapon, got my armor, got my pals, got my food, got my quest. We are gonna go. Diving right into it. We're dropped up at our base where we can pick up quest specific potions. So these are materials that expire at the end of the quest, so you just want to take them and use them first if you need to. The star indicates that, so calling them supply item there. Empty vials, so I can make more coatings if I want to, and additional coatings for when I use up what I have already. Now, I'm gonna jump on my dog and go off towards the monster. Now, in the world of Monster Hunter, there are different things, and I drove past one, that you can use to buff yourself. So in that case, what that did is stopped my stamina from depleting as much. Additionally, there are those little bugs right there that are called spirit bugs, and you can use them to buff specific things about yourself, so that gave me a bit more attack. As we go towards this one, more defense, more stamina, if you saw my yellow bar go up. And I'm going to pick up these just to buff myself more as I go into this now. Pull up my weapon, and we're going to knock down this grass where they like to hide. Pick up some more. You can see there's this little snail here, which can help heal you or cure status effects. Alright. These little guys, I'm not worried about you. I'm going after the big dude. So, let's go after the dude. Now, before I do, let me put on my coating. Let's fire a shot across the bow and see if I can get him. There we go. Alright, what I want him to do is I want him to face me here because I want you to come towards me. And blind. Bam, see? I'm in control now. Now, one of the other skills that I have, basically, I can buff myself and my own abilities. It's one of them that I just pulled off a moment ago. I'll do another one right now, where I can shoot up into the air and do cool stuff like that. And here it begins. So the cool thing about Monster Hunter is each of these are basically boss fights in their own right? So you can essentially give yourself a boss rush if you want to. See, my stamina depleting, so you obviously want to be aware of that as you're determining your charge level, what you're choosing to do now. Beat him up a bit and he decided to run off, so I'm gonna grab that to bring my defense up, and I'm gonna chow down on one of the rations that I got and pick up this to be able to make more potions in the future. I'm also gonna top myself off a bit, even though I don't quite need it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna drift into this, and we're gonna come down and knock him up. Now I have a bow, so that probably wasn't a smart choice, but I did it anyway. And I clearly drew him into something, and he got me for it. So, other thing for the bow is that I can do this, buff myself. Pinecone Beyblades, the Heat Seek. Give it Heat Seek because fire. Haha. Okay, he is not happy with me right now, but I don't care. Oh no. But he does not like my dog right now. So we're gonna try to fix that. Okay, so I gotta get out of here a bit. Top off. Yeah. You're not happy with me, I know. Alright, buddy. Swing. Oh, he's gonna get me unless I do that. Buff myself there again. Switch back to this one. I want to eventually get that buff on as well. Okay, he is focused on my palamute. Okay. One. Uh-oh. Yep. He knows what he's doing. He has a plan, and he is going to bring it to light. Okay. Up, down. Hop on a poison round. As you saw, my... Okay, he's gonna get with that, yeah. My power one had ran out, so he's gonna come after me with the spin drive. But we got what we wanted out of it. Beybladed. We dodge. Okay, he is poisoned. I don't need that anymore. I'm going to switch over to the paralysis one. And I'm going to that one off. So I have both of these going. Okay, we paralyzed him. So we don't need to worry about that as much. Just off a major hit there. That attack that does more damage if I hit it right where I hit it. And he broke it. Cool. Alright, but we're making good progress. Damage aside, obviously. This is a lower level hunt, so we don't have to worry as much about our health, which is nice to be able to show off stuff, but I'm gonna take this high road a bit. I'm gonna pick up this thing for the future. That is an endemic life, an animal that you can use to lead another monster to, well, whatever you want. So in this case, we're gonna see if we can pull it off. Let me pop up my defense again just to make sure. Pick up some honey to make better potions, and okay. So he is on me. I'm gonna switch back to here. Okay, no. Okay, that was a fluke. I will admit it, but it was cool. So we're gonna roll with it. Depending upon your skill level with Monster Hunter, obviously there's plenty of cool things that you can do. If you time it right, they'll use like parries, right? But okay, what are you playing? What are you doing? You're not doing whatever you're planning on doing there. You are taking out my dog, so I'd like you to stop that, please. Alright, so at this point I've done enough damage that I can now take on the monster, and what I'm going to choose for this case is I'm just going to use Bastion into this wall. That deals the most amount of damage. And allows me to capture them in a state a bit where I can just kind of do what I want to do without worrying about other things. And you probably saw that a bit. It's definitely an animation that give and take with this game. You know, some of these will let you get away with it, and then others won't. And then obviously sometimes it's just your own ability. So, okay, he's Beyblading, he's throwing down. Rip dude. Stamina's out, so he might get the better of me, we'll see. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is I need to get over here, pick up another wire bug. So these have been the creatures that have essentially let me pull off some of these cool tricks. They are specific to Rise and Sunbreak, so each Monster Hunter game has its own gimmick. You know, World had its own. I wasted that. Oh boy, okay. Alright. We can spin cycle. Get off it. Come on. Yep. Man, you are having... You heard me talking shit is what you did. Okay, he's coming after us, that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Gonna do this one. Alright, he ran off. we're going to press the advantage. Let's check real quick if there's anything else to pick up. Okay, there's not, so we're gonna head on. Head on down. I don't need another one of those. Okay, herbs for the future. Alright, ready. So you can see a bit. Monsters do get tired over time. So you can see he's running a bit slower. Not having the best time in the world right now. Good for us, but bad for him. So we're going to take advantage of that and yeah, you can see some of the attacks, right? They don't quite land as well as you want. Gonna give ourselves a bit more of a crit boost. Might have been long enough to try to paralyze him. Doing that. Paralyze them again. Almost makes you feel bad. Okay, so if you can see over in the right hand side, we have now set it up so that the monster can be captured. So I'm gonna set this shock trap down, and I'm gonna get my trank bomb ready, and just gonna do my dance. Hopefully to come over this way. Oh man, you're struggling, dude. Just walk a bit to the left. It's okay. It's okay. Come on. Oh, nope, he's not happy now. Alright. Alright, there we go. That went right as I wanted it. Ready, and boom. So like I mentioned, capturing obviously faster, obviously gets you done with the quest sooner. Depending upon how you feel about this whole gig of monster hunting, maybe it makes you feel better. I don't know, but either way, that is the quest, or at least one quest. So, like I mentioned, there are multitudes of monsters in this game, and they only get harder. That, again, was not very hard of a fight overall. The biggest part about Monster Hunter, right, is you get items, you get parts from them, and you can use those to improve yourself, improve your gear, get stronger as a whole. So I always just take all. The good news is that we didn't faint. You get 3 faints typically on a quest, depending upon the difficulty. You can get less than that, 2 or even 1. The other thing that we can see is that my Hunter rank, which is the base level Monster Hunter Rise ranking system, is I went up a level, but my master rank didn't go up as much, and that's what I need to focus on. Specifically at certain master rank levels, certain quests will unlock. Like I mentioned, they're not necessarily related to a main story per se, but they get you access to more monsters or stronger versions of monsters. And right now what I'm trying to gear towards is 100, so I can unlock a strong version of the main cover monster for Monster Hunter Rise, the Magnum Allo. And then after that, the later patches introduced other stronger monster variants. So that's my next goal that I'm going after, which requires a lot of grinding, and that's what this game is about, honestly. So one, that's why I enjoy their inclusion of the follower system, and two, that's why it's also important to have friends to play with, or you can just go to this hunting board right here, say, hey, someone needs help, what do you need help with? And I could go straight here, who needs help with the monster that I just hunt, and go into there and help them out. But as for today, that is at least one fight in Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. Like I said earlier, we might jump to Monster Hunter World Iceborne. What I will say is the graphics quality is different in that game. Good or bad, everyone has their own opinion, but there are another set of monsters to fight in there, and as I'm further along, or was further along on PlayStation 4 for Monster Hunter World and Iceborne than I was on PC, we'll get to progress through Iceborne actually on that save file, and like I mentioned, get to see one of my favorite monsters. So, with that said, if you are a fan of Monster Hunter series, let me know what your favorite monster is. Let me know, one, if you have a favorite monster for Rise Sunbreak, and two, if you have one overall. Whether that's from the very beginning, from some of the strange Elder Dragon beings that existed there, through Frontier for the really wacky designs that they had for their online MMO that sadly shut down, and again to some of the more recent games, some of the siege fights even, with Kulve Taroth or Jin Moran is one that I remember fondly, honestly. It was a really long fight, but fun fight, I think. And if you're not a Monster Hunter fan, let me know if you're interested in playing in the future, and maybe what's stopping you from playing these kind of games. I'm interested because for me at least, and you might have seen, like, I'm not the best at this game, but it's fun. It's enjoyable experience where, like any other game, you can kind of grind, enjoy yourself, and really just whack away at things or shoot away at things that are, in the context of the game, right, having a threatening effect to an ecosystem or to this village, to this outpost here, if you will. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again in the future. Thank you, and have a nice day.